We started selling the world. We did action movies. Instead of sitting back and saying, oh, the market's got to fit into us. It's like knowing how to, we made all the money back from foreign. At the same time, 4.7 million what the views. Anything.
Oh, wow. Awesome. Okay. I'm here with Chevonne O'Shaughnessy, founder and president of American Cinema International, fellow EO Entrepreneurs Org International member. Met you in Hawaii, and just by chance came across you at one of the EO meetings, and you had such a great story and background and unique that I was like, I have to have you on my pod, right? So you agreed. So thank you for doing this. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
Yeah. So I called you at a time where I guess live in LA, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So, but I caught you at a time when you're producing a movie. You're out in Ohio and you're like in the middle of a production. So I'll be quick. I'm going to ask you some pointed questions, but thank you for coming. And why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you started ACI and how you grew it so big?
I'm making a series right now, not a movie. So I've already finished 4 episodes of the Sugar Creek Amish Mysteries, and I have 4 more to go. I made a pilot beforehand that aired on Up TV that was called the Sugar Creek Amish Mysteries, and it was the highest rated movie for them in the last 2 years. So I don't have a contract yet for Up TV on the next 8, but I decided to make them anyhow, due to the fact that the publishing company is called Guidepost, and okay. Guidepost does a newsletter out to 8 million people monthly. And this is one of their highest rated books. So the people are very loyal. How did I start American cinema? I had been part of PM Entertainment since 1990. And my partner, at that time was my boss, we met and we started selling the world. We did action movies. We were doing 1 movie a month. And in that time, it gave us really good credibility with the international market. So international crash, boom, bam movies did really good in France, Spain, Italy, you name the world, we were selling out back in the 90s. Then a problem happened in the company. So my partner at that time decided to leave, and we left and we formed American Cinema in 1999. But we kept on doing the same thing. We were always first based international. We do all the markets, selling our titles. But when the market started to change, we weren't doing so much action anymore. Now we're doing thrillers. We did 1 movie in Romania. We did 1 in Spain. Then we did 1 movie in Canada and another one in Romania. At that time, we had HBO that was buying a lot of our titles because they had an action night. All of a sudden, HBO changed and now was doing their own series, which became really popular. And that's when we kind of got out of the HBO part, which really hurt us at that time.
Which was that was a big change?
It was a big change. Video started to decline, and we were never in the television market at all. Yeah. So because we had our own home video line and we did our own syndication, which means the smaller little channels we would sell to. But at that transition time, ABC started buying up a lot of the smaller channels. So it became your funnel of income became like one person now. It used to be the theaters were one person buyer, the video buyers were a different buyer, the TV was another buyer. And then all the majors started to control all the funnels of money, and it started making it a lot harder to sell. And so we
early
started.
2000s?
Yeah, early 2000 when we started. So we had done the action one, but then all of a sudden we didn't sell the US. And then it was like a wash of money. We made all the money back from foreign, but we didn't have domestic yet. So that's when we started looking at the channels. I remember going into Halmark because I'd done 75 movies. I had sold them worldwide. And I came in and I had a script and I said, I really like to work with you on this. The girl looks at me and she goes, what are you bringing me? What do you mean, what am I bringing you? I'm bringing my 75 movies that I made. I have a great script and so forth. She goes, I have a lot of people like you. What are you bringing me? So what she meant is either I had to have a huge name or I had something that had following already, which to me was books. And that's when I started looking at books, and I found a series of books called Love Find You at that time. And Love Find You at that time, Guidepost was only sending out a newsletter to 6 million people. But the series was 50. So it was every state in the union, there was a Love Find You. And the town became a character as well. And they were all female-led stories with very small characters, but it made it an easy thing to shoot. There wasn't like sci-fi, and we could make it a certain budget. So I went back to Hallmark, so proud. Look, I got 6 million followers. I got this. I have your checklist. I got a great script. Da, da, da. And they still said no to me. Because they don't want to bring new people in. So all of a sudden, we had made an action series called LA Heat when we were PM. And the new owner or the new director at Up TV had remembered that, and he was the first one to give us our chance. And he let us make The Love Finds You in Sugar Creek, which was our first movie, which made over 10 years ago. And we were, at that time, it wasn't social media like you have today. So we were doing small radio spots. We were going to the Christian market because the books are very religious, but our movies were not. It was kind of hinting at it. And we had really done some big grassroots meetings, and they had come to me before I even started Post and said that Up TV has decided the audience is not going to be 50 and above. That they wanted to attract the 25 to 45-year-olds. And I'm like, but your channel is 50 and above. Oh, no. What we want to do is we want to hit the 25-year-olds so they can get the toothpaste, and then they can keep that toothpaste till they're 50 or 60 years of age. So we don't want to concentrate on that. So all of a sudden, I'm like sitting there going, oh my gosh, I have 50 books. If this one doesn't do well, what am I going to do with the other 50? And as I sat on a plane, totally devastated, I thought about, oh, what's the title of my movie? And it's called Love Finds You. So I did. I went to all the dating sites. I went to JDate, Christian Mingle, Match.com, which back then you could take little skims and put around their website. And then you could see the trailer. So, and that was for free back then. Today you have to pay and so forth, but at that time it was for free. So we called the channel and we said, we think we're going to do $2 million on this. And the channel looks at us and it goes, Chevonne and George, let me explain to you our channel. Our highest rated movie to date has been Passion of the Christ on Easter. And that has only done 700,000 views. Do you really think you're going to beat Jesus? And of course you go, no, I'm not thinking that at all. I mean, you know your channel. And we aired 7 repeats and we did 4.7 million views.
Oh, wow.
2004.
Okay.
I beat Jesus. And it was an anomaly because we had Kelly McGillis in it, who was the first Amish movie she'd done since Witness. And they said, oh, it can't be done again. But they gave me another one, which was called Love Finds You in Charm. And again, 4.7 million. And then we did one more called Love Finds You in Valentine, which was not Amish. And this one did 5 million because it was Valentine's. So it's called Love Finds You in Valentine. So we got on NBC, and Yehoda talked to our main actor in it, which was Diego Morgado at that time. So we did 5 million.
Wow. That's great.
It was great. But then management changes. And then all of a sudden things want new people in. So we were kind of out. But then all of a sudden Hallmark, because they saw how great we were doing, was saying to me, oh, we want a script. We want an Amish movie. Can you send us one? So I send them a script, and all of a sudden they turned to me and they said they wanted it, and they were so excited, and all of a sudden crickets. I'm not hearing anything, Clayton, nothing. And I'm trying to figure out, why weren't they calling me back? So then I started watching their channel 24/7. I'm looking at the formula. I'm looking at what they have, and I'm like, I got this. Everything in my script was good, except their main advertiser was Petco. And they needed an animal to support the Petco advertising.
Okay.
So I went back and put a little scene in that they found a dog, they bring the dog home, they feed the dog, and then they take it to the pound. And all of a sudden they called me.
Okay.
The movie was called Uncommon Grace. It was one of the first ones when they had the mystery channels, and we did well on it. But I asked them, I said, why didn't you just call me and tell me? They said, no, we want you to know what we're looking for. We don't want to have to tell you.
They're not going to make it easy for you.
No.
Well, it sounds like your whole everything you're going through and the changes in Hollywood and films and movies production.
Pivoting all the time, even right now. I mean, everything is streaming. I was making feature films. Now I'm making series because everything is.
Did you ever feel like, oh man, this is unrecoverable. This shift is too big. Did you ever feel like that? Or did you have that? No, I'll just pivot with it.
I don't plan on doing anything else. No.
So you
sometimes I know this was the only thing I wanted to do. So I just try to make it work. When my partner passed away, which was a year and a half ago, and he was sick for a year, we were kind of standing still because he had esophageal cancer. So we were just kind of moving forward slowly. So because he was scared, and I understood. So once he passed away, he was able to start up and start needing what we needed and fitting into the market. You know, instead of sitting back and saying, oh, the market's got to fit into us. It's knowing how to pivot, but at the same time, how would I call it? Know what the market is looking for. Okay. So these books are clean content. It's, again, we're making little seed planters of religion. It's nothing really, but it's more that the whole family can sit down and watch a movie together. And that's what Halmark and Up TV are looking for. And again, the following is very loyal. I mean, the Academy Awards could be on, and they'll still watch my movie. Right? Yeah, it's a built-in audience. So they'll go no matter if the Academy Awards on, where most everybody else, you lose everything. If it's a big game or the Super Bowl, nope, they'll show up.
So what you've done now in pivoting to this, like you've been able to capitalize on it very well. And you're one of the hardest working women I know. You're out in Ohio, you live in LA, you're out producing a movie, and you wear all hats when you're producing something. Do you have a certain couple things you do, or do you just like everything when you're on a production like that?
Well, again, I'll be here for 2.5 months because it's 8 hours. But as a producer, it's mainly getting a really good team. And I have a really good team. So I really don't do that much, but I do sit behind the director and see what it looks like on the camera. So I make sure it comes into what I need for what I'm paying for.
Okay. Awesome.
So, but we've already talked about it way before we came into set. And the one thing that I think makes us different than most other people is production is very militarized. You know, if you go to the studios, you know, everybody answers, who's your place? You're a director, you're the co-producer. I don't look at it like that. I look at, yes, you got your line's importance, but I also look at as an entrepreneur. Do I need this position? Do I not need this position? Can somebody do the same position twice? You know, it's not militarized. I look at more as an entrepreneur and bring down my budgets as much as I can.
You're there to protect your investment, make sure everything's done right. Yeah. Like you're hands on, like you're not just giving them money, sending them money and saying, produce it for me.
No. I sit here hands on watching, making sure the dialogue and everything is going to, but at the same time, I'm also sweeping a floor. We were at a barn the other day and I had to sweep the hay and the manure too. But so I don't put myself on this, oh my gosh, I'm at this level and everybody else has got to run and do it. No, if we need to get it done, we get it done.
It's a good lesson for entrepreneurs to learn, to know that you have to do it all, wear all hats when you're doing something.
Yes.
Right. And that's a good example of that. And so your next, you have a series coming out now. You're planning on the next 2 to 5. Are you going that far out, or where do you go from here?
Well, at the same time, I can't just have one series. So the nice thing about the series we just finished is that it's based on 30 books. So if this goes well, I plan on doing another 10, and then another 10. And then I'm also still looking for other books that fit into the model of what I know needs to be made.
Okay. So you're always looking for new something.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we talk about, like, I've noticed in the news about LA not being friendly for producing movies and films anymore, which has kind of shocked me. They said, well, no, the movie production business has gone out of LA because of the taxes and stuff. Is that real? Is that what's happening? Or do you film in LA still, or do you always remote location?
When I first started, when I was a PM, we made everything in LA. But the cost became too much, as well as when Canada came about. Most people don't know the reason why Canada became so popular was during the Clinton administration when NAFTA was being discussed. And NAFTA became that agreement. They started an incentive, which nobody had incentive at that time. So Canada had an incentive, and then the administration also gave the big companies, not a small independents, but the big companies an extra 20% if they moved their productions to Canada.
Okay.
So it really hurt. I never wanted to go to Canada. We did 2 movies over there, but I just felt like we're just like everything else. We're leaving the people here in this country out. So I decided to make my movies here in the United States, and Ohio does have a great tax incentive. It's 30%. I've used Kentucky. I used Michigan before they ended up closing theirs down.
30%, and how they give you a tax incentive, tax break on that? Like,
yeah, it's basically every dollar I spend, 30 cents gets taken off if I use people from their state.
Okay.
Also flying, airports, cars, hotels.
So that's a huge incentive. Georgia has that. Very
Georgia,
cool.
The only problem with Georgia is it doesn't come to me. I have to sell it to somebody else, which means I lose another 5%. So when I do these, the check comes to me.
Okay. All right. That's interesting information there. If your advice for somebody getting into the industry today, either in production like you, directing, acting, do you have some advice on where would you start? How does somebody get in and break into what you're doing and or those other fields?
I would tell somebody who's trying to start out, what I do in most of my talking is really, as a writer or even as a producer, before you make anything, know who you think that buyer is going to be. Because each place has a formula. If you ever looked at a Hallmark movie or a UpTV movie, the first 15 minutes is a story about a girl. And usually you want to be like that girl. Her life is incredible. She's the main girl in the company. She's going great. Either her boyfriend breaks up with her, or something happens with the family and then she has to leave and something happens to her, so she has to struggle. And then she meets either a boyfriend that she had in the past, or she meets somebody new. It's the same thing over and over again. Really follow it. Because I have people that say, oh, I sent you a Hallmark movie and it's great. And it starts out with a guy. And I'm like, well, then you really don't know Hallmark at all. Really study the places and try to bring as much awareness to who's going to be able to watch it. Just like I said when I went to Hallmark, what are you bringing me? So it's not a lot just to make something, is how are you going to get those people to watch it too?
That's a good lesson there. The advent of Netflix, YouTube, and all that, is that good or bad for you? Indifferent? Is it how do you?
Netflix, in some way, was horrible for us. And the reason why I'm saying that is because before I used to get paid 20% on signature of a contract, and then I'd get 80% when I was ready to deliver. Netflix does big amounts, but they do quarterly payments for 4 years. So when you're doing quarterly little payments for 4 years, it's like it doesn't fit into the budget and it can get swallowed up in office expenses or something else. So it's not this big amount that you get just to finish off that movie.
Right. So in the beginning,
YouTube,
it's better now in YouTube?
Well, YouTube, I just started a couple years ago, but to 66,000 subscribers. So that has brought extra income. And I did it early enough that it's harder for somebody else to start. So we're almost 1 million. So I'm almost an influencer.
That's awesome. You are an influencer. And that was one of the things that stood out to me when I mentioned Hawaii. I was like, oh my gosh, this is the most famous person I ever talked to. I just met Marcos Lemonis and took my picture with him. I was with you, and I was like, this is great. You have a great story, and I just wanted to get you on the channel so you could share your story, your journey, how you did it. Was there ever a time that you had like, oh my gosh, it's over moment, like I can't recover? Or is there something that you want to share that are like, okay, this was the aha moment?
Well, I'll tell you my situation right now. When I made these 4 movies or these 4 hours, and I'm about to make the second one, I jumped and didn't get the state approval yet. And I got all the financing, and I'm basically trying to get roll over from one series and movie to the other with financing from the bank. Now, a person in my office ended up when you have to file, you have to have an Ohio address. So we have a guy, an agent that we hire here. He put the wrong address on the application. And this poor guy that I don't even know at all has been getting the mail. It's not going to the other person's house that it was supposed to, that I've done so many movies with. And all of a sudden, he was so annoyed with getting all this mail from somebody, put a fraudulent thing on my company.
Oh,
So now we're trying to fix it. I've gone down to the state. I've gotten pulled in and said, look, it was the wrong address. I'm really sorry. And I even tried going over to his house to try to talk to him and say, look, this wasn't intentional. We just put, instead of putting 18, we put 12 in the address. And he's furious and didn't want to talk to me. He was like hiding. And we're trying to see, because everything's pending to get this fraudulent claim that wasn't done intentionally off the thing. And then all the funding will start going. So I don't know if I'm going to just do 4 or 5, or if I have to shut everything down because the state won't give it to me. I'm in a panic right now.
oh wow. Okay. But yeah, I imagine you'll recover, and you've been through quite a few.
I think so. I think, it's a question of, and maybe I drove down already to Columbus to do it in person a couple of days ago. And then I might have to go down to Columbus again and say, look, this wasn't done intentionally. It was the clerical error. And they talk to the guy now, and maybe he's saying, yeah, I don't know her. I don't know him. We don't know each other at all. It was just by mistake. It was supposed to be 5 blocks away.
That's just an example of like you'll hit some crises along the way, and you just like have to keep going.
Yes.
Very cool. I appreciate this. Is there anything else that you want to add? Like, you have a lot of accolades, and then I saw that you have let's see, the Rome. What did you say? There's a Rome. You
What?
were. I'm going to cut these pauses out here, but your Distinguished Alumni Award, 2025 Distinguished Alumni Award from American University of Rome.
Yes. I attended American University in Rome. When I was there wasn't a film school at all. And my daughter has moved to Rome. So all of a sudden I called them up and found out they had a film school. And I said, you know what? I'm in the film business. I would love to come in and talk to your students. So I've gone to teach the students, and a couple of them I have as interns, even working for me.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I go to Chapman for the past 10 years and just did a visiting teacher to discuss distribution to the students, because, they, just like you asked me, how are they going to make the movie that they all kind of want to do? So giving them some hints. But it seems like this younger generation doesn't even know the TV channels. They only know YouTube, Amazon, and they don't even have channels.
Yeah. My son, I think I told you this in Hawaii, my son is an actor in New York, and he's doing been doing it for 2, 3, 4 years. He's got some parts here and there in stages and plays and YouTube, a mix of YouTube and series. And then like I give him this, he's like really hitting it hard. He's doing everything he can, and even doing some writing. So he's been writing some of his own stuff and then producing it. So for somebody like him, where you say up and coming, know your audience, know who you're writing for,
and niche yourself. I think the only thing that survived me, or I've survived this long, is niching myself on one type of film. As I said, I make only inspirational, clean content. I don't go, then I'll make a horror film, and then I don't go make a thriller, that the buyers know if they need that kind of content, they come to me.
Great advice. And that applies not just to movies and TV, it's a business. Like niche, they say
Yeah.
the rich are in the niches. So that's awesome. Okay. Very good.
Okay.
Is there anything else you want to share? You've given a lot of great
I'm
value.
good.
I love
Thanks.
it. I really appreciate it. And
You're welcome. Thanks so
okay.
much.
All right. Cheers.
Okay.
Bye.
Cheers.